Hello, Abuja. A very, very good morning to you, and welcome to Midday with MENA. I am your host, MENA. All right, today we are going to be taking a look at the importance of age differences in relationships. We are taking a look at the importance of age differences in relationships. How important is age difference to you in a relationship? Okay, so I'm throwing that question out there to you, my listeners. So in the course of the show, you can call in, ask questions, and make your own contributions. How important is age difference to you in a relationship? Many of us have different beliefs when it comes to what the acceptable and ideal age difference between a man and a woman in a relationship should be. Some people are of the opinion that a man who is way older than his wife has maximum chances of garnering respect from her. To some, the most important factor in marriage is love, and they also highlight the irrelevance of concerns about age differences. On the show today, I have three lovely women. Jennifer Eno Oje. She is from Saba Resources Relationship. She's actually a Saba Resources relationship coach under the leadership of Dr. James Komolafe, Dr. Long Life. I'm sure you guys know him. He's been on my program a couple of times, our behavioral expert. Jennifer Eno Oje is a mental health expert as well and mental health service provider. And I also have Lois Ralph Kumzi. Yeah. All right. Lois actually gave me I don't want to say a bit of a tough time this morning, but yeah, it was all jokes. It was all play. She brought some sunshine into the studio this lovely morning. Lois Ralph Kumzi from Saba Resources she's a Saba Resources relationship coach under the leadership of Dr. James Komolafe too, and she is a behavioral health expert. And on the phone, I have Ufedo Ochimana. Many of you may be familiar with her already. She's our relationship expert, and she's also a writer. And she's been on the program a couple of times. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you. Good, thank you.
It's glad to have you here.
I'm glad to be here too.
All right, Ufedo, are you still with us? Okay, you're welcome. We can't. Can you speak again, please?
I said thank you for having me once more.
Okay, great. Yes, now we have you on air. All right, let's get into the program now. The first question I'm going to ask, Ufedo, I'm going to throw this to you to just let me know your take on this. Does age gap in a relationship affect the quality of a relationship?
I'd like to say that for me, my answer is tentative. I say that because there could be a situation where someone is in an intimate relationship with a child. A child is someone who quickly develops physically or emotionally. So when someone is in a relationship, someone who is yet to know his left from his right, or is yet to know right from wrong, so that relationship must have quality. So that's why I say it's a. But apart from cases like this, extreme cases like this, I do not see age as the barrier to a quality relationship.
All right, thank you very, very much for that. And that concern you drew right there, it's very extreme, but yes, it's also very rampant in Nigeria today. And we're going to get to that much more later in the society, much more later in the program. Jennifer, do you have any thoughts towards that? If the age gap in a relationship affects the quality of the relationship?
Thank you once again. I'm glad to be here. If it's a personal question, personally, my views will say age is just a number. And it shouldn't. It's just one aspect that governs a relationship. And in any case, experts know perfect age difference does not even exist, you know. So relationships are so full of nuance, and age difference that may work well for one set of partners may be detrimental to another, you know. So I personally don't see
An age
difference that affects quality relationship. No,
right.
I don't see it.
All right, Lois, what do you have for us regarding that? Does age gap affect the quality of a relationship?
Yeah, I will say yes and I will say no. It all depends. I will make a reference or an example. A man of 40 years that marries a girl of 20 years. The man might be 40 years number-wise, but behaviorally is immature. So how do we look at age? Age is number. But if a 40-year-old man thinks like a 20-year-old man, is he matured enough? Do you count that as an age gap? And a 20-year-old lady that marries a 40-year-old man might be matured mentally and she would communicate better off. So how do you balance it? Age is just number. What counts is the maturity mentally.
Great. We're going to get to that maturity aspect much more later. So there's something about us here in Africa that we cannot deny.
Yeah.
We've seen it with our grandmothers. We've seen it with our mothers. We even now with us, a lot of girls, a lot of ladies even subconsciously want guys that are older than them. Sometimes it doesn't even have to be much of a gap. They just want a gap to be there, do you understand, for one reason or the other. And I strongly believe most of it is social conditioning, is seeing what we've, what we've seen growing up and everything. And let me get to my question, actually. So the question now is that, why is age gap between a man and a woman important for us here in Africa? In fact, when you see that a man marries a lady older than him, oh my God, it's almost hardly acceptable. Like people will still bicker about it. They will still be surprised. True. It's still a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people. So I'm just going to start with you, Lois. What's your take on that? Why, as Africans, what's responsible for that mindset?
Okay.
And does it have advantages?
When you look at it, in Africa, we have a culture.
Yeah.
And is that culture that is holding us back on that age difference? That we have not... Growing up, we know that ordinarily the man should be older than the lady. So culture is holding us down. So in Africa, culture counts. What are we looking at? Culture counts. How were we nurtured? Nurturing counts. We nurture to see the man. There's a way, maybe the man is older, the lady is more submissive. It's a nurturing thing. And then naturally, you give respect to who is older. Ordinarily. Naturally, it comes by impulse. So those things count in Africa. Culture, nurture, and nature.
All right, Ufedo, on to you now. What's your own take on this? Like, where is that mindset? What has brought it about and made it a rampant thing in the society that people follow like law?
Yes, I like that you said the mindset. And just to continue with what the last speaker said, yes, it's a mindset that has followed us over the century. So even though we have seen some people defy the tradition, we still see that we are taught that mindset. And I think it's in control on the part of them. For a long time, in this part of the world, male domination, male subjugation, it's been about suppressing the woman. Because women have been seen as sex. And I'm sorry to say that it got to a point where even the African woman herself as an object. That's how we were brought up. That's the mindset we grew up with. So when you begin to see yourself as an object, you don't want to go into a relationship who is superior to you in age, because you feel that, I'm supposed to be that one who is. That a man, insecurity, does not want to have objects he feels is superior to him. So I just want to say it is as a result of a poor mindset. But I'm seeing that quite a number of men are breaking through barriers now, breaking through the market. Thank you.
All right, thank you very, very much for that contribution right there. Jennifer, what's your take on that?
Like the two speakers before me have spoken. In Nigeria, I won't say in Africa.
Okay.
I'll just speak for Nigeria. We have a culture, like she said, and we are really, really governed by them. Your culture, your nurture, and then environment. We grew up knowing that your husband should be older than you, and like she said, we just accepted it.
We did.
That's how it should be, and personally, I just couldn't see myself marrying someone I'm older than. I'm a firstborn, and I've been used to bossing my siblings around. Why marry a man I will have to boss him around? So this is a personal view. Yes, I wouldn't want to boss my husband around because of my nature and my character. So yeah, we have a culture, and as bad as it looks, because we are all educated now, we've all gone to school, and we have been told that we are equal. It's a dicey one.
It's a dicey
one. No matter what we think, in Nigeria, we kind of accept the husband should be older in a relationship.
It's like an unspoken rule.
It's an unspoken rule.
But you know what I like about what you've pointed out, Jennifer, is that you said this is a lot of self-awareness. You actually looked within yourself, and you know the reason why. Yes, we've seen these things happen before now. So that shows you that these things are just prone to happen. Yeah. They came to a lot of human beings. They came to a lot of women. Maybe even naturally, some women felt that way, maybe. And I think here we are not trying to make women feel like, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. You should do whatever you want, but well thought out.
Exactly.
Have a logical reason for why you're making your decisions. Exactly. Not that, the environment has conditioned you like this. You have to do this. You don't have a mind of your own. No. Exactly. So we're not trying to, say that either way is bad. Marrying younger is bad or marrying older is bad. Just know what you want and be confident in what you want. And however it goes, you take the responsibility of your actions. Honestly,
honestly,
that's
honestly.
What. Yeah, honestly. Yeah.
Because there's really no perfect. There is no perfect age.
No age gap. No.
Age gap.
A lot of people have been trying to do it. People even ask, is 5 years okay? What do you think about 10 years?
Yeah, there's 2 years. Sorry, about something about the 7-year rule. Your age, you divide it by 7, and then add 7, and then you find out that should give you an average of the person you marry. But there is no ideal. There is nothing. At my age, I have seen over 50, and I have really seen a lady who is 5-6 years older than her spouse, and they are still married, happily married with children for years. And they don't have issues, honestly. So they have broken the traditional way of thinking. So many men in their 60s marrying girls even below
below 30,
below 20. I have seen it happen, and they are happy, and they are still in their marriage. So really, it still boils down to the couple.
Yes, it's a behavioral thing. It's not necessarily
after some time. Society accepts it. It just takes some time, and we're like, okay, we're wrong in judging this.
This way.
So tradition, culture, and everything, it's still a big mindset.
Okay, let's talk about age shaming in relationships. Okay, some say it's better to marry a younger woman. Men and women do not age the same. She'll start looking older than you. But I just want to throw that one to you briefly.
I want to say that it's not pure ignorance. Ignorance born insecurity. My question is this: my body, that body, the real me, does life end when my body passes? So it is them up to me. Go into relationship, when I go into marriage, is it not my physical body that is entering that marriage? I'm talking about age. It's physical bodies that have me. What about my intent? What about my purpose, vision, my passion? So if we don't look beyond this, the ignorant nature in humans will keep telling people, thinking that marrying the container. My age is just the container. My body, I'm 40 something. What that mean is just the container. The real me, my spirit is as sound as it has been. My soul, the rest of my intellect, as it has been. Sorry, let me just give this girl of about 7 years who comes to my house on Friday for fellowship. Anytime that girl opens her mouth to make a contribution, I ask myself, am I sure I'm intelligent? She spoke down 7 years, she says things I've never thought about. Imagine I'm a young man having this, I have this girl as a friend, and she's the older than me. Imagine that every time she gives me advice, she gives me counsel, and there's progress. Like, imagine that we have a that we love each other, we accept each other, we are compatible. The only thing is she's older than me. So I will sacrifice because of age. So people who are busybody shaming one out of share gun. Yes.
All right, thank you so much for that contribution. I think the best part of what you said, one part that stood out to me very well, is that, this exterior is just a container.
Yeah,
like, the real thing is my spirit. My spirit controls this. My energy controls all this you see. So, and it's this same exterior container I used to enter the relationship now and the marriage as well. Okay, and she says that it's mostly born out of ignorance, actually, that people would want to say that. But let's take a look at why some people actually do think that men and the women start looking older than the men in relationships.
Okay,
Lois.
People look, depending on what you are seeing.
Yeah.
If I want to build on what the last speaker said,
Yeah.
let me start from the age shaming before I go to what people look at. In age is number, like we said initially, and we all know that age is nothing but number. But when you want to look at the person involved, they might look matured, but what do they have? Content inside. No matter how beautiful a container is for the bin. What matters is the content. We buy stuffs because we want the content. When we pick up stuff, it's because we want the container, not the container. I might drink whatever is inside. I can't keep the container forever. I will trash it. I purchased it for the sake of the content. So if a woman has content inside of her, that's what you should focus on. So this age shaming thing, it's just an insecure thing that we have built around for some obvious reasons.
To defend some characters.
To defend what is not it. It's an insecurity thing.
And my problem with that is seeing how so many relationships, I know no relationship is perfect, actually.
Yeah, of course.
Personally, what I use to grade relationships between people are just I feel like you just need two willing partners to make a successful relationship. Two willing to work. You're willing to do everything to make sure. So that's what I use. But I've seen that for you to even be interested and willing to put your life and trust somebody, you have to know them through and through. And it seems like relationships these days, they lack that. It seems like people are looking for these superficial things like, is he older than me or younger than me? How will people see it? How would we look? Is he taller than me? Is he shorter than me? How will we look when we take our pre-wedding shots? Is he a fashionista? How will he dress on our wedding day? Can he dance? Will he be able to dig the floor on the wedding? I feel like these are the things that are the foremost minds and thoughts of people when they get into relationships.
And that is born out of ignorance. It is born out of ignorance. I have been married. You understand me? So sometimes out of the ignorance, you do not know, or you don't even know the magnitude of whatever you're going into. So you look at the superficial thing. People, of course, people will look at it and say it is fine, but it ends
Yes.
there. The main thing is in the living. So if we have admired the height, the whatever, the social whatever, we have gone our own way. You are left with managing the content on the inside.
Of course.
So if the person is the person mentally healthy, is the person emotionally balanced, is the person spiritually balanced, is the person physically balanced, all these ones count in a healthy being. So it's not the age or the height that matters. I might be short, but I am emotionally balanced, I am mentally sound, I am physically fit, and then I am spiritually rounded.
All right.
I will make a good partner, unlike a man or woman that is tall and does not have all these things in place.
Okay, great. Actually, we have somebody here that just came into the studio, our educational expert, Wilson Agaba. And we'll take a quick break, let him settle in, and we'll be right back to throw him some of these questions. You know, he always has basketballs angles to our questions. All right, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to Citizen FM 93.7. This is Midday with MENA, and we are discussing whether age difference is important for the quality of a relationship. All right, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back shortly.
Okay,
Citizen FM Abuja. Now we be the voice of the people. Citizen FM Abuja. Now we be the voice of the people. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Make we join our hands to build a nation of our dream. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Make we join our hands to build a nation of our dream. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Yeah. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Shiki, shiki, Citizen FM, Citizen FM.
People, welcome back. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to Citizen FM 93.7. This is Midday with MENA, and thank you for staying with us. If you'd like to call in to make your contributions or ask questions to our educational expert, our behavioral expert, or our mental health expert today, you can reach us on the numbers 0818 22 22 205. You can also reach us on 0818 22 22 206. Welcome, Wilson Agaba. I'm very, very happy to have you here. I'm glad you could make it. I know you said you were at a meeting, and as soon as you were done, you tried to make it down here. We really, really appreciate it. So actually, what I'm like to ask you, or what I would like to throw to you now, is this age shaming thing. You know, oh, don't marry women that are older than you, or they will age before you, or don't marry women that are close to your age, they will age before you and they will start looking older.
Well, I was listening to the show on my way here. Even though I wasn't here when it started, I was here in the spirit. And I listened to my fellow panelists here as they did justice to the issue. But you see, it is not actually African not to marry older women. And why do I say so? in the past, we had cultures where if your elder brother dies, you can inherit his wife, especially if she had not born children. For your brother, for the name of your brother to continue, they have you inherit the wife. And in most cases, your elder brother's wife could be older than you are. All right? Then we also have African cultures where if a king dies, the next king inherits the queen. And the new king is usually younger than the queen. And we have African homes where as long as you are the male child in the family, even your elder sister genuflects to give you food. She sets the table and clears the table. If she's not there, in some culture, the mother even does it. Because in Africa we have clearly defined rules for each gender in the home, even though they are unwritten.
We'll get to that.
All right? Yeah. So it is not actually an African thing not to marry an older woman. I particularly know a few people who are married to older women, both in our modern time and in the times before. And there was no shaming at the time. So I believe that what we have today is an infiltration of a culture that is not ideally ours. And that has changed what we used to know to what we no longer now know. Then the other aspect of it is...
It has blurred the lines.
Exactly. The other aspect of it is the biological aspect, which tend to be coming from Western education. All right? Because we feel that marriage in Africa here is all about having children. And so, and before now, Africans, the number of children you have is your pride, because our trade was farming. So you have a large farm, you have many children, you have many wives.
And the younger ladies are better for more children.
More productive for more children, because your family is your human resource supply for your business at the time. You know, so all of these things started adding into it. And when you know that, okay, if a woman is 45, they may begin to approach menopause and all of that. So all of this come into play. But in truth, is marriage all about having kids?
No.
See?
So these are questions that we need to raise.
That's what I said, that a lot of these things have blurred people's visions. They think it's of utmost importance. When I make statements like what you just said, like, is the end game of a marriage, every marriage, should it be children? I thought we're on a journey in this world where two people are looking for each other. Partnership to survive together. Together. A lot of people don't know what having children entails, and they push those thoughts and they push those actions on people that may not even necessarily be ready. Jennifer, I think let's go back to the age shaming, because this is part of it as well. Women that get into relationships, marriages, because like you said, they want to have children, they are age shamed. They tell them, look at you, you're approaching 40. You cannot do anything again. Even as at now that modern science has made it possible, you know, for women to have children in various ways. So Jennifer, what's your take on this age shaming thing on women for marriage, children, almost everything?
Thank you. My take is the pressure, it's not from the couple.
Usually.
This pressure, usually, it's from family, friends outside.
Society.
Really. Because given the fact, if these two people found love and want to be with each other, all they need is support. Because it takes time for you to know someone. So you shaming them and saying those whole things make a lot of ladies not even think of marriage.
Mental health.
Yes.
Like it's killing their mental health.
Here is a girl who her father has given her opportunity to go to school. And what do you want her to think about? School, not marriage. And then everyone says, oh, you are 22, you are 25,
environment.
You are 30, you are supposed to be married. And she is thinking, I am supposed to be married.
And
it doesn't happen quickly for everyone. You know, this is the 20th century. This
Yeah.
is 2023. This is not
21st century.
21st century, sorry. This is the 21st century. So let the opportunities the male child has
Be
also
equal,
be
yeah,
equal
to
what
the opportunity the female child has.
Don't shame them. Don't shame them.
Don't
If-
draw
if-
that
if-
line of disparity.
Yes, if they find love at 45 and they
Support.
they believe, they strongly, I think even at that age you are really, really sure of what you want. What's the difference? Even those who are younger still divorce, no matter what the shape looks like. They still find dissatisfaction or one excuse or the other to divorce. So why should you be afraid that because I am 45 I may not make a good wife or a good husband?
Imagine
or
doubting
all that?
yourself because of
Yes,
age.
Yes.
I won't make a
And-
good mother.
Yes.
I won't.
So this whole pressure thing comes from the outside.
It
It's
does.
really not in the couple. They find love with each other and happiness. And that there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot in a relationship. Age is just one of it. Age is just one of it.
Hello, Ufado, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, so I have a question for you, okay? So we just said something about how external influence contributes a lot to help people feel shamed. You know, whether it's age shamed or any kind of shame, you know? People external pressure is a big factor. So sometimes we see that even internally your family supports you, and then you get to the outer environment, because that's why we're having this conversation today. You get to the outside environment and you see people, human beings like you, not necessarily your friends, but telling you things that you never knew to be normal. And they're trying to like force it down your throat and, you know, convince you that what you've known is not what it is. It's this thing we are telling you as you have come outside now. That's the thing. So I know you have children. How do you deal with that with your children? How do you feel confident that, you know what, I've instilled this in my children. Once they are 22, 20 years, 19, they will go out and they will also hear things from other people. I won't be there to encourage them, to correct them, to tell them this is wrong or right. So how do you feel about that with your kids, and what are some things you do to help?
All right. Let me say, let me even talk with regards to female children now. I always tell the girl child, female children, confidence is the most thing in a woman. Confidence in yourself. Some people will say sex, this and that. I used to tell people, just be confident in yourself. When you are confident in yourself, you cannot accept what you say to or taking you, opinion. You just know that I cannot be perfect. I accept my situation. This age we are talking about, even if a man is not older than the woman, just because the woman's house clock is ticking, the man will be see men afraid of going for that kind of woman. Just like Mr. said, they're starting to not be able to get this again. But a woman who is confident in herself will not just go and marry anyhow, or will not kill herself. So what I tell my children, most importantly, believe in yourself. My younger sister married. In my home, it wasn't a big deal. But from outside, was that going to feel like, there were the ones that started making me feel bad about it. Because you are doing something, saying, don't do it. What is hot on the inside? You just pretend. Perhaps it wasn't so. So I am now trying to have plans and I'm teaching my children and teaching children that I come across, be confident in yourself. Nobody is perfect. I've seen beautiful community sites because they felt that they, and these are people that are applauding. So if you are not confident, your age will speak against, your sex will speak against, your status will speak against, because people in their sheer ignorance will be arrogant in their ignorance. Just believe in yourself.
Thank you very, very, very much for that contribution right there, because I do see a lot of sense in what you've said, that confidence is the only way out of it. Because honestly, if you're confident in yourself, there are some kind of people you will not even pick. You won't even be attracted to anything that contradicts your self-confidence and your self-worth, to be honest. Like she said, I've seen beautiful people, handsome people, rich people take away their own lives. And there is nothing anybody could have done to make them feel differently about it. All right, let's move on. I think the last thing we're actually going to talk about now is something very important that is plaguing us as a nation.
And mind if I add to what the last speaker said?
Of course, please, Lois, please, yes.
Okay. From what the Mr. Agaba said, our generation or let's say our parents' generation or our generation, I don't know which one, where we belong to anyway, because it's like, we saw it happen whereby a man dies and then the younger brother inherits the wife, which of course it might be his elder brother's wife, which ordinarily she should be older than him.
Yeah.
And they lived happily. We witnessed it happen. Then how come today we are the ones speaking against it when it's happening in today's generation? So it's like we are contradicting ourselves, or we are because we don't know who to use. We are losing our values and our identity because we are borrowing cultures that doesn't belong to us. We don't even know what we want.
We are not confident in what we have.
Yeah, so end of the day we end up confusing these young people who have focus, who utterly should have focus, vision, and all of it, but we just mess them up and they become mentally unstable.
We do. Like, you see a parent send their child to school, and immediately after university you're pushing that child for marriage. Is that what they went to school for?
Life is a journey.
If it may surprise you, if you do a survey today, to find out that men who married older women are happier in their marriage. It may surprise you, because I know a few, and if you look at them, their marriage is calm.
I said so.
Because the man matures into responsibility quickly.
Yes.
The woman doesn't mature into responsibility quickly, because she's not its responsibility carrier, she's somebody's responsibility. So it's difficult for a lady to understand what a man is going through. But when she's older, she has seen a lot, it's easy for her to understand what that man is going through.
Take a step
and she
back
tends to understand more with the man. And this lifts a whole lot of weight from the shoulder of the man. So whereas people focus on the biological aspect, they have not looked at the mind, the maturity of the mind in the marriage. And this is what offsets the balance. When too much load is placed on the man and the woman doesn't seem to understand what is going on, then there's an issue.
Which is what always happens. You take an immature girl, or a girl that you feel you've hidden away from the world, so she's pure now.
Exactly.
She her eye no tears, she don't know anything.
But does it end with the eye not tearing?
You drop. That's
that
what
all
you're
that
saying.
matters?
You drop her in her husband's house, and she has no clue.
Yes.
What the core needs of
marriage
this man is.
The clue she has is my father and my mother's kind of marriage.
And this man is taking care of me.
That's all.
That's it. My parents have put me here for this man to look after me. By nook or by crook.
I shouldn't think. I shouldn't go
forgetting the marriage is about compatibility.
I shouldn't go against what he said. He's always right.
You look at a lot of relationship these days, and you see, I have people close to me, some mentees who come to me and say, "Sir, she doesn't understand whatever I say." That happens a lot. Why? The guy is thinking that in 5-10 years, I'm supposed to have a home where my children will live. But the lady is thinking we need to eat shawarma.
Yes, sir.
And then when he's insisting on, look, we need to buy this land there.
Investments.
That place is in the bush.
So that
who is going to live there?
That brings us to the fact that we have come to establish the fact here that A man marrying an older woman is not making a mistake.
It's not,
right?
He has more
Right.
advantage.
Okay.
both
So
of
the
them have
shawarma
enough
part
love.
of eating, I have seen ladies who actually help their spouse prosper
Oh, yes.
because of their IQ, because of the way they think. And so allow the girl child mature. Allow the girl child know exactly what she wants.
Exactly.
Because by the time she gets into a relationship, it's not going to be he has to do everything
Shawarma
and
thing and all of
yeah,
that.
shawarma thing. You know, she helps him grow. She helps him fulfill his dream, you know, because now she knows herself. Like the first speaker says, she's confident.
Yeah.
She's confident. She knows what she wants. I wasn't told that. I remember getting married and my mother said, if anything goes wrong in this marriage, it's you. Why? Because I was the talkative type, the very vibrant. I was now made to keep quiet and hold on to things in my heart so that I don't offend my husband and make the yes, and make the marriage.
Your husband didn't want your opinion. Who is to tell them so?
Yes, my husband is really older than me. Yes, well, not really. Like, yes, he's about
Like,
7
there's
years,
nothing I do
7 years
today.
older than me, and
don't
that was
want my
because I
mother.
wanted it. I wanted it that way.
Yeah.
It was me.
But
it
does
wasn't
he
my-
want? Does he want your opinion? Although you were
Oh,
trained not
now
to give
he wants it.
Okay,
you
so
know,
you've
now
grown
I've
together.
grown. I have grown to say I don't like. It wasn't like that from the
At the
beginning. I used to
start.
just keep quiet or cry over it when he's gone. I cry because I wasn't heard.
And nobody even
You know,
knows
it
why it's
took
not
time.
working.
It took time for him to understand that.
For me as a person, I wanted a wife who can offer ideas.
That is
wanted
the
a wife.
partnership.
But
that
you
I
wanted
can-
that. Did you make her know that that was the kind of
Good,
person
yes,
you wanted?
good, all right.
Because sometimes
I've always
what
made
you
it
want
clear.
is in your mind. The lady does not know
I've-
that.
I've always
And
known
you
And
see
men,
as-
men find it hard to communicate and pass across a message.
Good.
But
That was
I've
where I
always made
was.
mine
Good.
very clear.
That was where
That's
as
why-
a parent I was.
You are a part of this empire.
Very good.
And you must contribute
Continuously, yeah. You have to continuously
Intellectually.
reinforce
So-
it.
You are one of the different. You are
mentally.
one of
My
the
wife
few.
does not have my
You
expertise.
are one of the few
Right?
men.
Yes.
Very few.
Sometimes I sit her
Clearly now.
down,
Didn't you see how I was hailing you?
explain to her everything about what I want to do, just so that she gets a clue.
Nice.
And then I will now ask her,
What do you think?
I should do?
You are one of the
given
few,
this?"
which is
Beautiful.
our problem
You know, and
right now.
sometimes she offers very inciting ideas. I mean, she gives me something. It may not be the answer, but it
Yes,
will
it will
stimulate the answer.
contribute.
I'm
Yeah.
clapping for you. You are one of the few.
As a man, you need to put it out there. I always put it out there. I'm not going to handle the family problem in my
All by
head.
Yeah.
yourself.
Come and add to it intellectually, and it's clear. And many men too out there, they know it, but sometimes the ego problem,
The ego.
the,
That is it.
the
Yes.
training problem.
That
Yeah.
They find
Maybe
it hard.
their family is
nobody
place
should
where
say a woman
the father-
came
the
to.
father
She
legislates
brought
on
her
everything.
money. Nobody should say. Nobody should accuse me of not doing what I ought to do.
No.
I
It's,
am the man here.
You need to
So
understand.
don't.
For me, I always knew that I wouldn't be able to live with a woman who can contribute intellectually. Because
What about
two
financial?
good heads. Financially is not my problem.
Good.
I know that it's my job to take care of things.
But hold
I
on.
also want a woman. who
Financial
can be somebody.
responsibility comes from your mental aptitude.
Exactly.
Both of you solve a problem together. That your next deal works.
Exactly.
You know the next thing to do, and the money comes.
My wife looks at. I'm working on something with someone, and she looks at the person and say, "Babe, I don't think you should trust this person 100%.
I'm not comfortable with such
Yeah,
a
I'm not
person.
comfortable.
I think you should be careful with this person.
I
think
do
you
it a
should
lot.
this,
I do
this,
that. I'm too
this."
sensitive to that. To
Sometimes-
effort. Yeah.
I take it because one, I don't want to be over protective.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
to the point like I
Not
don't trust
wanting to
the,
take risks.
You
the
get
partner
paranoid.
or get paranoid.
Yeah.
But it also calls me back
Caution.
to my senses because I'm one person who is easily trusting of other people,
Okay.
and most times they have stung me.
Okay.
And so when she mentioned that, I begin to look for certain things.
The
And
loopholes
once I
in there.
confirm them,
Yeah, the loopholes.
I beef myself up against it. So she has helped.
Yeah, she
in
gave
her
you a
little
heads
way.
up. Yeah.
She gives me a heads up.
And this is
Things
second
I am not
opinion.
seeing from within.
Second
Second
sight.
opinion.
Yeah.
Second,
Sight.
you can't see everything.
Very important.
You can't do
Yes.
it. And that's why the white people tell you teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes. And I think in this times we're in now, impatience. People are no longer patient. Women are not patient to discover their man, and the men are not patient either with the women.
Is the
There's
blurry
pressure. No, there's pressure out there.
There's
too.
so much
There's so
pressure.
much
It's the blurry
There's so
lines
much
he
pressure.
said that we've
Yeah.
imported another culture,
And
then-
to mess with our own culture, and now everybody
We're neither here nor there.
We're neither here nor there. All right, guys, we've
Well,
come
what
to
will you say now that it's the fault of westernization, of bringing education and awareness? Will you say that?
It's the fault of not being confident in our own culture
Exactly.
and uplifting our culture.
Well, we just said now that our culture has meshed with a lot of things
He
also.
disputed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You see,
because
what happens
if
is
we
that-
are to go by our culture, I will still not be allowing my daughter to marry a man she is 20 years older than, if I am to face culture.
We
So
have to close
culture
it
is
here.
still not bad.
We have to close it here right
The
now.
problem is that
But
you're
we'll-
always fighting against time.
We'll take it. Yes.
And
We'll
I
take-
can understand.
we'll-
It's
we are
okay.
definitely
We've not
taking
talked
it up.
about solution.
We are definitely taking it up another day.
Okay.
All right. So I'll
fine.
contact
That's fine.
everybody here,
That's
and we'll come back
Okay,
again
fine.
next week. In fact.
Okay, so
And
what's
we
the
do
solution to
Yeah.
the age gap thing? I was waiting for you to ask that.
We'll
What
do
we
that.
do?
Let's take it to next week,
Okay.
along with the fact that child marriage is still legal in
Exactly.
Nigeria.
Exactly.
Although there is an act that debunks
Against
it,
it,
but
yeah.
there is also
Yeah.
another act that contradicts it that is still in the constitution. So next week we'll definitely be getting to that. Shout out to everybody that participated in this program. I can't call you one by one. Our time is far spent. That's a wrap on Midday with Mina.